I think the VIX spiking is a natural reaction to what's going on here. We had nearly 2 years of no volatility. We were coming into the year with a trifecta of strength, earnings, economics, and then rates were actually pretty low. With the rise in rates, equity markets got spooked a little bit, and markets don't go up in a straight line forever. So this rise in volatility is actually something we talked about late last year with our own clients. We don't necessarily see this as a buying signal yet. We're about 8.5% down in the markets. We could see a 5 to 10% correction easily. And given what we've talked about with algorithmic trading here, with momentum trading, we think another 2 to 5% downside is probably in the cards at some point. But we are still calling for a year-end mid-single-digit returns in the S&P. So at some point, you get your wish list ready and you make those buys.
Larry, you've called this a Trump tumble, but I mean, it's not still exactly tumbling. So
Sure.
To whom do you give credit for that?
Look, there's no doubt it was too much too soon in the rally, and the tumultuous Trump tumble that we've seen over the last week certainly comes on the heels of a fundamentally driven, rationally exuberant market that we've seen over the last year. So the fundamentals have been there all along to support this market. It's the behavioral component. This was very much a behavioral and emotionally driven market. That's why the VIX has been such a terrific barometer for investors. It should not have come as a surprise to investors, again, given the extensive low levels of volatility that we saw. But when you see the VIX go off like fireworks on the 4th of July, blowing up at unprecedented levels, 1,000-point decline on the Dow, you're going to get people's attention. And that's where we are right now. But look, I think the last guest makes a great point. When you talk about volatility in the market, I tell my 10-year-old kids on the way to school today that when the VIX is low, you got to go slow. But of course, when the VIX is high, it's time to buy. We saw that this morning. We saw the market blow up at the open. Everyone's become an expert on volatility. And a lot of this is being driven by irrational, indiscriminate indexing. That's what's taken hold of this market. Most investors in the S&P 500 have never seen a bear market, and they're getting one on volatility right now.
Wait, that's what you told your 10-year-old this morning?
Well, it was in between the Ronald Reagan speech and the Milton Friedman conversation.
Yeah,
but
right.
As we talk, even a 10-year-old can figure out that low volatility is the contrarian indicator. I think investors could figure the same thing out as well.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.